Of the chosen ones, believe it or not, God's chosen people, many of us, many of you, have a lot of financial problems, and I'll even go so far as to say end up homeless. And I think it really comes down to just two reasons. One, you don't really feel like you're of this world, and yet you still have to really pay attention to minutia. So much details in getting paperwork done, applying for this position, going on the computer, always knowing all the new computer programs, jumping through hoop after hoop after hoop, when at least the way I understand chosen people, you'd rather be concerned about showing love to your family, caring for individuals, helping those that are less fortunate than yourself. And you're oftentimes getting so ostracized, singled out, abused by people that are envious of you because you are grounded in the spirit. And they're not. And they can see this, and the demons within them hate you. And so life is just kind of so often overwhelming that just focusing on, jumping through all these hoop after hoop after hoop so you can have the nice car, you can have the nice house, doesn't really seem worthwhile. And then the other reason, I think, really would just be that we'd rather kind of pursue what we know matters. And what matters is eternity. And, a lot of people have brought me to task saying, you believe in a works-based, your faith is, work-based. And Scripture says that, enter through the narrow gate. That doesn't mean just simply saying, I believe, and everything else is taken care of. Entering through the narrow gate does require growing spiritually. How are you going to grow spiritually if all it is I believe? Growing spiritually is constantly, day to day, struggling to pray when you don't feel like it, to fight that temptation to have that second hostess ding dong, making sure you go to fellowship. Yes, I believe that fellowship is important. I think it's either 21 or 23 places that it says we must fellowship. The earliest Christians were so into fellowship that everyone gave anything extra they had. No one had a big house because it would be considered ostentatious, or it wouldn't be caring for the community. So whether you had a job or not, it was kind of like the idea of communism. Everyone was looked after. Everyone was cared for. In church the other day, they said we have $175,000 surplus for what we were saving for. So we just get to sit on that money and use it however we wish. And I feel like raising my hand and going, I'm a parish member and I'm in debt several tens of thousands of dollars. Could you help me? Instead of just all that money, I still give money every Sunday, and they have $175,000 surplus. Do they even think for a moment of giving me some of that money back to help me with my extreme financial problems? Of course not. That's their money. They're not going to give any to a parish member that really is suffering, you know? So everything in this world, even our churches, is all about getting ahead. And when they have a surplus, having 175,000, that's for them. They're just going to sit on it until they have something to use it on. You know, and meanwhile, you got parish members that don't have a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out of. So, you know, a lot of homeless people are people that are God's chosen people. I mean, I just can't get a break, you know? I mean, right here, I went to court to get restitution from that guy that attacked me. And the lawyer doesn't even care about me. She does not have my best interest at heart. She didn't fill out the paperwork, so the $700 I'd already paid towards my medical bills wasn't granted to me because she didn't include that in the paperwork. She didn't tell me to bring the reason why I was evicted, and the apartment complex wants $5,000 for my eviction, and it was done in that courthouse, so I'm assuming they got it on record. No. So I wasn't asked to bring it. The courthouse isn't even aware of it, so they're not going to grant me that. It's like I have to do everything when I have a lawyer that's supposed to be doing her job and have her best interest in heart. I think it comes down to I'm a conservative. She's extremely overweight. She wears a mask, still, a COVID mask, every day to court. She doesn't call me once leading up to the court date to go over things. I'm supposed to get paperwork from that court date. She didn't give me any paperwork. I complained to her that the police mishandled the whole thing. They didn't give him an alcohol test when he was drunk, when he attacked me. They said I was disorderly when I wasn't. They allowed him to go in the bedroom for 5 to 10 minutes alone where he put a scratch under his eye, which is the whole reason why that they justified saying that I was disorderly. So I mentioned to her, should I file a lawsuit against the police department because it was handled so poorly. And all of a sudden I start getting gang stalked by the police. Obviously she told the police. 2 days later, I get harassed by a police officer. So shouldn't that be like lawyer-client privilege, you know, confidential? She shouldn't be running off and telling the police so they can gang stalk me and harass me. Man, and I think it comes down to I'm conservative. I ride a Harley. How many Harley people do you know are libtards? The way I dress, you know, the way I walk and talk. I feel people need to know what's at stake. So I share openly my political views. And I'm a target because of that. You know, but I could care less about my own personal situation when it comes down to the seriousness of what this country is facing. The amount of corruption and greed and people not caring about the overall good of the populace or overall good of the country and only caring about their pocketbook and their bank account. It's like being in Rome as the empire started to crumble. So anyways, sorry if I got a little bit heated, but things are going off in my personal life and in the big picture, and it's a sad state of affairs. Everyone wants to virtue signal, and everyone wants to appear that they are loving and caring and understanding. Yeah, bring in all the millions of people. Attack Trump for saying they're eating cats and dogs and say that was racist when they actually are eating cats and dogs, and they're eating cats and dogs in other places too, not just Springfield, Ohio. Even if it's one dog, That's your family member. That's wrong. You know, and the way the mainstream media is putting it down is saying, no, that's not happening in Springfield. That one case happened somewhere else. So what? It shouldn't be happening anywhere. People's family members are getting killed for a meal that night because we're letting in all these people. That Springfield, Ohio has like 48,000 populace, and they've let in over 20,000 Haitians, all on taxpayers' dime, with no jobs in that community. So guess who's footing the bill for those people's health care, for their dental, their vision, for their monthly income? What's going on? Man, I'm irritated. Have a good day.